Booyah!
So, the new Junkenstein update just came out and it's very well received, and for good reason. It's very well made, the difficulty curve is just about high enough to be fun, and just low enough so that it isn't fucking impossible, and it actually requires a decent amount of teamwork. Not to mention that the background lore for Junkenstein is actually quite interesting. I think it's important for games that are almost exclusively multiplayer to have some form of PvE, just so there's something else to do, and just so there's some amount of variation in a game that is entirely based on multiplayer and only 3 or 4 different game modes. It is pretty damn important for Overwatch to have something else to do, and this certainly does work. So in saying that, Junkenstein is basically just a horde mode, it's all it is, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Although horde modes have been done by practically every franchise, it's still an extremely good way to have fun with a couple of friends and to have some easy, simple co-op to go through. PvE is actually quite important for Overwatch. It's kind of necessary to make it not boring as fuck. And to be honest, it is very nice to get away from a bunch of fucking toxic people flaming in the comments constantly while you're trying to have a nice Overwatch competitive game, because holy fuck, that gets old fast. Which, side note, never solo queue in Overwatch, it is literally the worst. Anyway, getting back onto my original point, the Tavern Brawl itself is extremely well made and very interesting, and does kind of fit with the whole Halloween idea, and does kind of fit in with the whole Halloween theme that they're going for at the moment. And to be honest, I actually do like this Tavern Brawl quite a lot, just as much as I liked Lucio Ball. I liked both this Tavern Brawl and Lucio Ball quite a lot. However, it is important to note that I hate almost every other Tavern Brawl. Almost every single one sucks balls. Like, I like to imagine how much thought they actually put into these Tavern Brawls. Like, I get it, they're weekly, so they're not necessarily easy to do properly, but this isn't Hearthstone. You don't have to have some weird, kooky Tavern Brawl every week to have people come in and play, because to be honest, if they suck, they're not worth putting up there. That's my problem with the current Tavern Brawls in Overwatch. Most of them are extremely boring. Like, you can just imagine them sitting down and going, oh, let's just make it so you can only play all the girls, or oh, let's just make it so you can only play tanks, or oh, let's just make it so you can only play Hanamura with Hanzo and Genji, because that's lore. That should be a fun thing for everyone to do, and people wouldn't get bored of it after one game at all. Tavern Brawls are meant to be fun. They're meant to be the kind of fun that you can't have in the original game, and the problem with playing Tavern Brawls right now in Overwatch is most of them you can currently do in the game by just picking a specific character or having some specific thing changed. Like, the most they've done to actually manipulate the game itself is just making it so you have your ult all the time, which, I'll be honest, if that was a thing, that would probably break the game, if you would, even if it was a Tavern Brawl. And I don't mean break the game as in make it dumb, I mean break the game as in it would fundamentally break the engine. You can't have Hanzo firing off ults every 1 second, it will just break the game straight up. Now granted, they did kind of slow this down a little bit and try to put in changes to their abilities so they all have their abilities instantly, which is kind of interesting, but it's still not enough to make it interesting enough to actually turn over to that game mode and want to play it longer than a game. For that reason, I think Tavern Brawls shouldn't get as much attention as they're currently getting in terms of just making them. They shouldn't even bother thinking about them if they're not really going to go through that much effort. I'm not going to blame them because they only have about, let's say, about a couple of days to think about it per week. And considering they're busy with all their other shit to do with Overwatch at the moment, I can't really say they're being lazy, because really they're not being lazy. They just don't have time to make clever Tavern Brawls. And for that reason, in my opinion, they shouldn't make weekly Tavern Brawls like Hearthstone. This is the point I'm getting at. The point I'm getting at is Hearthstone is an entirely different beast. The thing with card games is you can manipulate things very easily, and it's very straightforward to make things more fun. Tavern Brawls, they can do whatever the hell they want because they have so much to work with Hearthstone. You can just make every character fucking Murloc Raider, and that's still a funny Tavern Brawl. Compare that to Overwatch, it's a lot more difficult to come up with very clever, creative ways to actually make each Tavern Brawl fun. So in saying that, Tavern Brawls in Overwatch kind of suck, and the point I want to make here is they should probably not even bother with the Tavern Brawls at the moment, mainly because no one even plays them. For last time I've checked and tried to get into a Tavern Brawl, it took me ages because there is no one queuing for Tavern Brawls right now. So my advice would be try to make better Tavern Brawls, maybe monthly, or even if you want every single occasion like you're doing right now. For example, Lucio Ball was a great Tavern Brawl, as was Junkenstein. If they have a good Christmas one, and then maybe a good, I don't know, Easter one, and then a good summer one, that's 4 good Tavern Brawls a year. If you kept those Tavern Brawls going until the end of the month, for example, it would make it a lot more fun for everybody involved. It would mean also a lot less work for Blizzard. I don't think the Tavern Brawls are really worth keeping if they're that boring and shitty, because to be honest, most of them are boring boring and shitty. So if you can't get the point I'm trying to make from this, the long and the short of what I'm trying to say is they should stop making weekly Tavern Brawls, because it's not the same game as Hearthstone, and the concept and the ease of making a Tavern Brawl is entirely different. It's a different scale altogether for Hearthstone. So what I think they should do is maybe make a monthly Tavern Brawl, because to be honest, it would be a lot better making a monthly one, and they'd be a lot more entertaining to watch and play, because you'd have a lot more time to work at good Tavern Brawls and actually have fun playing them. It would lead to better Tavern Brawls with more people playing, because a lot of casual players are a bit in the stasis right now, because quick play, no one really gives a shit about quick play. Competitive people are very salty, so Tavern Brawls, if they do them monthly, could be a good place for more casual players to just jump on and play the occasional Tavern Brawl and jump off again. Because I do know people who play Hearthstone just for the Tavern Brawls, mainly because it's just fun to watch shit get fucked around, and they don't even bother with ladder at all. So, in my head, both sides would benefit if the Tavern Brawls were just less consistent but better made. So in saying that, tell me what you think about the Tavern Brawls in the comments. Most of them in my head suck. I think one or two of them that wasn't Lucio Ball and Junkenstein were okay, but really only the event-based Tavern Brawls have been good in my opinion. Anyway, I'll see you next time and have a nice day.